Hey everyone, it's Grant Winsauer, and I am back to bring you another edition of the Bear Claw Cast today. I was supposed to be joined by my co-host Jack today, but something came up at the last minute, and he couldn't come on today, which is all right. He's got things to prepare for, with PA school and stuff like that. So I totally understand. But today I am going to go over a cool event that I went to this a couple of weeks ago. I was going to do it. I was going to do a podcast on it a couple weeks ago, but then I thought that I would share that when Jack got back. And that was supposed to be today. But again, something happened. And you can't help it. So I'm going to share that, and then I'm going to go over some things that I have read and heard about from Bears OTAs and training and mini camps and all that stuff, and that's pretty much going to be today's episode in terms of what we're going to talk about. So let's get into it. So a couple of weeks ago, my good friend Zan Bando, who actually I've had on the podcast in the past, he invited me to a gala called the Mike Ditka Gridiron Greats Gala. And what usually happens at these galas is former NFL players are being honored for being such great citizens and football players here, throughout their career. So I got invited to that a couple weeks ago, and it was awesome. I got to meet Vernon Davis, Olin Kreutz, what else? Who else? Actually, let me look up who it was, because I'm kind of blanking. Sorry, I should have probably gotten this up before I started. Here we go. All right. Who was honored at this? Who was honored at this? So, Mark Collins, Vernon Davis, Olin Kreutz, Leonard Marshall, and Garney Henley were honored at this past Gridiron Greats Gala. And all of them had great speeches and highlights from their career. I got to talk to Mark Collins for a little bit, and he wore 4 of his Super Bowl rings. I think he won 2 with the Chiefs, and I believe 2 with the Giants. I'm gonna look that up. Oh no, he won two Super Bowl rings, both with the Chiefs, yes. And I mean, it was awesome to talk to him, but I had a great night. I got to see some very cool stuff. What else? And again, I want to thank my good friend Zan Bando for helping me out with that and letting me tag along to that, because that was a night that I will not forget. I mean, he invited me last minute, like Wednesday before the gala. He texted me and asked me if I wanted to come, and Thursday I got my clothes and so I could go, and it was awesome. I had a blast, and I hope I can go again in the future, because it's now it used to be held at different locations every year, but now they're having it continuously at the Hyatt hotel in Rosemont, so it's not that far from my house. I can go and enjoy that with him, and that was I had a great time. I got to meet Olin Kreutz's sons while I was there, who I actually go to college with at the University of Illinois. I've never met them before that night, but I've seen them on the jumbotron at the football games, and I also did get to, when I was speaking to Olin Kreutz, I did get to kind of pitch the podcast to him. So hopefully, in the future I can get a chance to interview him. I actually should reach out to him and tell him that I met him again, just so he remembers who I am. But that was, I had the time of my life that night. It was great. It was great. Great people, great food, great night, and I hope to do it again in the future. So, the Bears are in their last part of mini camps, and this week is the final week for rookies. That there's like one more mini camp for rookies this week. It might have started today. It might start tomorrow. I'm not sure, because nothing on Twitter. I don't think this week's open to the media, so I don't think anyone's going to be posting about that stuff. But every rookie that we have, and possibly Caleb Williams if he's allowed to go, because Ben Johnson did say that this next minicamp was just for younger players, and veterans aren't expected to come, or aren't going to be fined if they don't come. So I mean, Caleb Williams is technically, he's a year in the league. That doesn't make him a veteran. I think you need to be at least 3 years in the league to be considered a veteran. So I would expect him to show up, because I mean, outside of Caleb Williams and Case Keenum, we don't want like Austin Reed throwing the ball to our receivers. But I don't know. There's a possibility that could happen if Caleb Williams doesn't show up. But there's something that I wanted to talk about with just the Bears as a team. So Ben Johnson at the end of the draft, I don't know why I'm talking about this now, because that was like 2 months ago. Well, not a month and a half ago. He said that players have to go out and earn their starting spots, and he didn't just mean the rookies. He meant every position. But when you look at certain positions or certain position groups, you know that even though he said that, most of their spots are are going to be filled. But if you look at here, I'll show you. I'll go to the Bears website and show you the depth chart because their depth chart is empty. Chicago Bears. Sorry. I don't want the. Yeah, I want the official website. Okay. So if you go to team and go to depth chart right here, let me share my screen so you guys can see this really quick. Let's go to depth chart. Yep. All right. So I just want to show you guys this. I mean, this is empty. I mean, there's no like starting players on any position. But if you think about it, left guard to right tackle is essentially figured out with Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman, Jonah Jackson, and Darnell Wright. The only offensive line position that is technically open right now is left tackle with Braxton Jones still recovering from his ankle injury, and he might not be back for the start of training camp. And from what I've heard or read, is that I'm going to stop sharing. That Ozzy Trapillo and Karana Magaji are getting looks at both spots, or looks at the left tackle spot. But I mean, even without the pads on, Ozzy Trapillo looks like he's a veteran, very, very sound and very, very well put together. And the dude is 6'8". Like, he's making, some of the other offensive linemen on this team look small because of his height. And then, also something that I am really glad that I'm hearing also is, in the past, when it came to OTAs and minicamps and all that stuff, the defense has been ahead of the offense, the whole time. And while that is okay to be true, because we don't have pads on, we don't have, we don't actually really have offensive linemen and defensive linemen running at full speed to block. When they had the most recent minicamp, like last week, day one started, where defense just had the better of the offense all day. But the next day, the offense got better, and the next day the offense got better, which, when we had Matt Eberflus as our head coach, I know that I shouldn't say his name, but you have to mention the previous head coach when you're mentioning previous years. I heard that progressively the offense got better and better and better each day, and I mean that's great to hear, because this past year, before we had Ben Johnson as our head coach, we never got better, but like, the team is looking like it's getting better on the offensive side now, and it just makes me happy, to hear that. And some other things, I mean, what else can I talk about? I mean, Something that I like to see is, you know, Caleb Williams, while he can, escape the pocket and make off scheduled throws and all that stuff and out of the pocket, there there was a photo that came out on Twitter a couple days ago that Caleb shared himself. I'm gonna share my screen again, uh, and it's. I mean, so here's like a 30-yard pass from Caleb Williams to, I think, uh, Olamide Zacchaeus, one of our free agency acquisitions this past year for a year. But as you can see, Caleb Williams is inside the pocket, which, for most of last year didn't happen because we had no offensive line, and we finally have an offensive line this year. And also, can we just take a look at how well Drew Dahlman is blocking Andrew Billings with no pads on? I mean, that's a very good block. And I mean, when you are wanting to become um, a successful quarterback in the NFL, you need to learn to throw from the pocket. And as you guys saw from that photo, he was inside the pocket, but he was also getting pressure. Pressure was coming, and he made a good throw, at least what it looked like. And Also, DJ Moore, he had a press conference a couple last week talking about all of the wide receivers in the wide receiver room. He didn't mention Zacchaeus at all, but he was talking about Rome and Luther Burden. Now Burden is still nursing his low soft tissue injury that he sustained probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. But he said that even though the kid hasn't been on the grass, during the time that Moore has been there for OTAs and mini camps, he saw some highlights from the first rookie minicamp where Luther Burden did participate for a little bit, and then saw some catches, and he said that he looked good. And also he said that even though he's not on the field right now, he's asking a bunch of questions in the wide receiver room, and he's asking the right questions and trying to make sure that he can be the best wide receiver that he can be. And when it came to Rome, DJ said that he can already tell that Rome is going to take that next step because he just looks, you know, he's gotten bigger in terms of muscle and weight, so that's going to help him out a little bit. I mean, he could just tell that Rome is going to take the next step, and I mean, I don't know if there's going to be any news coming out of the final rookie minicamp this week, but I wanted to record this podcast because actually Thursday I am going on a 2-week vacation for I have to celebrate my cousin's wedding. Shout out to Max and McKenna. Congratulations, guys, and can't wait to see you in a couple days. And then so we're gonna be hanging out in Georgia for a week, and then after that, we're gonna go to Florida for our normal family vacation that we do every year. And then so I will be back the June 26th. It is June 10th. I get back the 26th or 27th, and then after that, I have to get my wisdom teeth removed on June 30th. So everyone, wish me luck on that, because I'm gonna be going through some pain for that, and won't be able to eat solid food for 2 weeks. But luckily, we are in the point of the summer where, there's not going to be a lot of football news coming out. So I kind of guess that I scheduled, everything in a good window of time. So I mean, I should be able to, do the podcast by the time training camp rolls around in early July, early to mid July. So that's a good thing. But so we will not have a podcast for about a month because I gotta deal with all that stuff. But again, I said, we kind of scheduled it for the right time because there's not going to be training camp news for about a month. But I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe so we can bring you the best Bears news possible. And again, everyone, please wish me luck on my wisdom teeth removal. And again, hope you guys enjoyed this podcast, and see you the next time we record a podcast. Have a good one, everyone.